So welcome to part 3 of the solar compressor air conditioner build. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, you'll probably want to go back and review those. So in part 1, I go over the selection of the refrigeration unit, how the base unit works, the design plans, the parts, the fluid circulation system, install a radiator, proof of concept, and then in part 2, intake and exhaust system, fans, circulation, power analysis, and window mount construction. So I'll put a link right here that will take you back to part 1, and you can watch part 1 and part 2. Otherwise, if you've done that, we're here at part 3. In part 3, we're going to add thermostat control. We're going to install in a van. We're going to do some real-world testing. If you're around at the end, I'm going to show you the design for the compressor control mod and the condensation system. So let's get started with part 3. This is our test mule for the day, and for my subscribers, don't worry, I haven't gone all van life on you. It's a high-top 1999 Chevy Express van. I sold the Land Rover and bought this for $5,000, and I don't travel in it. In fact, it just stays where it's at. I use it for my mad scientist laboratory, I use it for my Zen office, and I use it as guest quarters. So I've enjoyed just playing with it. So this is what we're going to do to test the air conditioning system, because this really is designed for very small spaces. So let's take a tour of the inside. There is no insulation in this van. I haven't done anything to insulate it. It's all pretty stock. I took out the 2 captain's chairs, and then the back couch folds flat, and I put a mattress over that. So just very simple. But I've made a nice little cabinet here. And also during our test, we'll be running it with the Dometic refrigerator running with me in it. And a quick tour under here. Here's the Dometic fridge. Opens like that. Best purchase I ever made. And at some point somebody's interested. If y'all are interested, I might could do some more. So here's the propane tank, the water tank. And also over here, I finally solved the problem of thermostat controlled propane heating. I had to do a little modification to this and add a secondary thermostat, but I can control the heat in here down to 0.1 degrees. It's awesome. Easiest just to take the vents off the unit in order to fit it in the window. So it's just kind of in there temporarily with some foam pushing it up against the glass. All right, so here's our setup. I've got a timer set up. I've got our indoor-outdoor thermometer. It's 70. Sorry for the bad lighting. There's a lot of sun out there right now, and it's coming in the window. So 79 inside, 77 outside. And what I have learned, I'm learning more about this system. So what I found really worked best was just go ahead and let it run for, I'm going to go ahead and start this. I let the unit run for about 30 minutes just making ice. So I had the ice maker on, and I had the external blower on to cool the unit. I didn't have the water pump on. I didn't have the blower on. So what that does is I let it run for 30 minutes and build up a nice bit of ice, so that now I've just turned on the water pump and the blower up top, and that's circulating some nice cold water and blowing some cold air. Now if you were camping, you could just dump a bunch of ice in the bucket and then just go ahead and start the whole system up. I've also got the temperature probe. I don't have it touching the, I don't know if I can show you. I don't have it touching the radiator. It's sitting just in front of it, so we can check. So that temperature is the airflow that's coming out. It's not the temperature of the radiator. So I've learned how to do time lapse. So I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to start it in time lapse mode, and we're just going to watch it and see what happens. It is around 10:30 in the morning, so it's a pretty warm day. All right, so we've been running it about an hour and a half, and we'll check our temperature, outside temperature here. And so I can get some light on this. Outside temperature is up to 90 degrees outside, so it got pretty warm. The van, I have it, the temperature sensor sitting in the shade, but it is high noon now, and it is taking on a lot of heat. So let's kind of look at some conditions of our test inside here. There is a Dometic refrigerator running, so that's generating some heat down here. I did close the blinds on both sides, and the van is not insulated. I did pull the curtain here for the front. And the front does not have any blocker in it, so it's taking on straight sunshine all the way around, so that was generating some heat. So given all those factors, I'm pretty happy with the turnout of it. So it dropped down to 70 pretty quick, and then as the day grew warmer, it started losing a little ground, came up to about 72. And so I'm pleased with it. I think I could do some more tweaking. I have some questions like if adding that second fan might help with the cooling, so some other things. But overall, I'm pleased with the test. Adding the Digi10 thermostat is a very simple affair. All I did was I took this, I put some Velcro on it, stuck it on the front. You plug in your thermostat here, press the button and that lights it up. So down at the bottom, you'll have a plug that comes with it. One side says heating, one says cooling. So what I did is I put in a multiplier here on the cooling, and this one is for the pump, and this one is for the blower motor. So that's what we're going to cycle on and off with the thermostat. So right now it's set to cooling. All that happens is when it gets cold enough, the temperature will drop from the probe and it will shut off the relay. It'll turn off this outlet, and then so that's how we can cycle on and off the cooling. Now that's not going to cycle on and off the compressor, but if you stay till the end, I'm going to show you an idea I've got for cycling, or at least controlling the compressor. I'll post a link down in the show notes and on the website about how to program this. What you'll want to do is go to the video about the tiny heater. I go in very depth about this thermostat and exactly how to program it and set it. Okay, so let's talk about upgrades. So one thing is condensation control. I didn't have much trouble today with condensation. So what I may do is take some of the corrugated vinyl and just fold it, zip tie it, glue it, and make a small little catch tray here. And see if maybe this just evaporation will take care of it. If not, then add a little drain tube on this side and drilling another hole inside and draining the condensation back into the tank. As for the lines, the condensation on the lines, I'm thinking of wrapping them in one layer of Reflectix and then covering that in duct tape and see if that gives enough insulation to take care of the condensation. Now, the next thing, the compressor control. Here's my idea on the compressor control. If you remember, I told you there's an infrared beam that crosses through the inside here, and when that beam is broken, it tells the machine that the ice is full and to stop and to finish its cycle and then just sit dormant with this exhaust fan running, and that's it until the ice melts down and that beam is reactivated and it starts up again. So what I'd like to do, this is a 110 volt relay. I could put this in, I'd have to open up the case, open it up, put this relay in here, run a wire into it, 110 volt wire, and then connect that to our thermostat. And then what I would do is break the line right here of the infrared emitter and put it in here. So the net effect is when the thermostat turns on, it'll activate this relay, it'll activate the light, and it'll send the beam across and say the machine, okay, it's not blocked with ice. Now when the thermostat shuts off the relay, it shuts off the beam that tells the compressor that the ice is full and to stop running and just sit there until it kicks on again. So that's all the things I've got for you. I know this was a long video, a long series of videos. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you a lot of ideas, things you might do. And I know there's people out there who are way smarter than me. They're going to come up with some great ideas and mods and hopefully make this even better. So as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your comments.